Hi and welcome in our channel Alive Inc. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe for our future videos, and thank you very much in advance.
Behind every great novel lies an inspiration, a spark that ignited the creative flame in a writer's mind. Often, this spark is drawn from real-life events that have profoundly impacted the authors, shaping the stories they tell. In this video, we explore fascinating real-life stories that inspire famous writers to craft some of the most iconic novels in literary history. 1. Mary Shelley, A Nightmare That Sparked Frankenstein. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, first published in 1818, is one of the most enduring horror stories of all time. But did you know that this dark, atmospheric novel was born out of a simple dare during a stormy night? In 1816, Shelley, then only 18, was staying with her husband, Percy Bysshe Shelley, Lord Byron, and John Polidori at a villa near Lake Geneva. As thunderstorms ravaged the area, the group entertained themselves by reading ghost stories. Lord Byron suggested that each of them write their own supernatural tale. Mary Shelley struggled to come up with an idea until one fateful night, she experienced a vivid nightmare. In her dream, a scientist created life from an assembly of human body parts, only to be horrified by the result. That vision became the seed for Frankenstein, the story of Victor Frankenstein and his monstrous creation, reflecting themes of scientific advancement, human ambition, and the consequences of playing God. 2. Harper Lee, observing racism in her own backyard for To Kill a Mockingbird. Harper Lee's Pulitzer Prize-winning novel To Kill a Mockingbird 1960 is a powerful exploration of racial injustice and moral courage. The novel is set in the fictional town of Macomb, Alabama, but the seeds of the story are rooted in Lee's own experiences growing up in Monroeville, Alabama during the 1930s. One of the most direct influences on the novel was the Scottsboro Boys trial, a notorious legal case in the 1930s in which 9 black teenagers were falsely accused of raping 2 white women in Alabama. Lee's father, Amasa Coleman Lee, was a lawyer, and his defense of black men in court left a strong impression on young Harper. The character of Atticus Finch, who embodies morality and justice, was inspired by her father's integrity and commitment to the law. Through the lens of Scout Finch's childhood innocence, Lee used her novel to shine a light on the systemic racism that plagued the Deep South during her formative years. Lee's observations of racial injustice in her own community served as the foundation for one of the most influential works of American literature. 3. Ernest Hemingway, the Spanish Civil War's influence on For Whom the Bell Tolls. Ernest Hemingway was not just a novelist, he was also a journalist who witnessed some of the most significant conflicts of the 20th century. His experience as a war correspondent during the Spanish Civil War in the late 1930s directly influenced his 1940 novel For Whom the Bell Tolls. Hemingway had spent time with Republican forces fighting against the fascists, and his time at the front lines allowed him to observe the brutal realities of war. The novel's protagonist, Robert Jordan, is an American dynamiter working with guerrilla fighters to blow up a bridge story that mirrors Hemingway's own wartime adventures. For Whom the Bell Tolls is imbued with Hemingway's first-hand understanding of the complexities and tragedies of war, as well as the themes of sacrifice and comradeship. The novel captures not only the political and ideological struggles of the time, but also the universal human cost of war. Hemingway's experiences in Spain allowed him to write with a level of authenticity and empathy that continues to resonate with readers. For F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Jazz Age and The Great Gatsby. F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby 1925 is often viewed as the quintessential novel of the American jazz age, a period of decadence, ambition, and disillusionment that followed World War I. Fitzgerald, who lived through and participated in this period of wild excess, drew heavily from his own life and observations to create the glittering yet tragic world of Gatsby. The character of Jay Gatsby is rumored to have been inspired by several real-life figures, including a mysterious bootlegger Fitzgerald met while living on Long Island and a wealthy neighbor who threw extravagant parties in the hopes of winning back a lost love. However, Gatsby's longing for Daisy Buchanan mirrors Fitzgerald's own experiences with his wife, Zelda. Their tumultuous relationship was marked by wealth, ambition, and emotional distance, all of which found their way into the novel. Fitzgerald's exploration of the American dream, its promises, and its failures was deeply informed by his own rise to fame, his romantic struggles, and his observations of the opulence and moral decay of the 1920s. 5. George Orwell, Totalitarianism in the Real World in 1984. 1984-1949 is one of the most haunting depictions of a dystopian future ever written. George Orwell's vision of a world ruled by totalitarian regimes where Big Brother watches every move wasn't purely a product of his imagination. Orwell's work as a journalist and his experiences during World War II profoundly shaped the creation of this bleak novel. Orwell fought in the Spanish Civil War, where he witnessed the manipulation of truth by political forces firsthand. His experiences with propaganda, coupled with the rise of Stalinism and the horrors of Nazi Germany, shaped his fears of government overreach, surveillance, and the suppression of individual freedom. Orwell's close observation of how totalitarian regimes use language to control the population became a core theme in 1984, particularly in the form of newspeak, a language designed to eliminate subversive thought. Orwell's real-life concerns about censorship, propaganda, and the erosion of personal liberties inspired one of the most iconic works of political literature, providing readers with a chilling warning about the potential dangers of unchecked governmental power. 6. J.K. Rowling, Tragedy and Perseverance Behind Harry Potter. Few literary stories are as well known as J.K. Rowling's journey from rags to riches as the author of the Harry Potter series. But what inspired the creation of one of the most beloved fictional worlds in recent history? Rowling famously came up with the idea for Harry Potter while on a delayed train journey from Manchester to London in 1990. As the story developed in her mind, she faced personal tragedy, the death of her mother. The grief and loss she experienced during this time shaped the emotional depth of the story, particularly in how Harry copes with the death of his parents. Rowling's struggles as a single mother on welfare also mirrored Harry's own resilience in the face of adversity. The themes of loss, friendship, and hope that permeate the Harry Potter series are deeply intertwined with Rowling's personal experiences. Her real-life hardships and triumphs provided the emotional foundation for the magical world of Hogwarts. 7. Stephen King, A Real Accident and Misery. Stephen King, known for his masterful horror novels, often draws on his own life experiences to fuel his stories. One of the most chilling examples is Misery 1987, the story of a writer, Paul Sheldon, who is held captive by a fan, Annie Wilkes, after a car accident. While King wasn't held captive in the same way as his character, the idea for Misery came from a dream he had after finishing a novel. In the dream, King was a prisoner to a crazed fan who demanded that he continue writing. The nightmarish vision planted the seed for Misery, which explores themes of obsession, control, and the pressures of fame. Years later, King himself would survive a serious car accident, an event that eerily echoed Paul Sheldon's experience in Misery. The novel's exploration of creative captivity, fear, and survival was rooted in King's own understanding of the complex relationship between author and audience. 8. Agatha Christie, Her Own Disappearance, and the Mysterious Affair at Styles. Agatha Christie, the Queen of Crime, is best known for her intricate mystery novels, but one of the most intriguing stories in her life is her own real-life disappearance in 1926. After her first marriage ended, Christie vanished for 11 days, sparking a nationwide manhunt. When she was eventually found in a hotel, she claimed to have no memory of the event. While her disappearance remains a mystery, the experience likely influenced her writing. Christie's ability to weave suspense and intrigue into her novels became more refined after this personal crisis. The Mysterious Affair at Styles 1920, which introduced Hercule Poirot, was written before the incident, but her later works grew even more layered and psychologically complex, suggesting that her life experiences informed her craft. 9. John Steinbeck, The Dust Bowl and the Grapes of Wrath. John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath 1939 is a searing portrayal of the plight of migrant workers during the Great Depression. Steinbeck was inspired to write the novel after traveling with an Oklahoma farming family who had been displaced by the Dust Bowl. As he witnessed the devastating conditions faced by migrant laborers, Steinbeck became determined to shed light on the human suffering caused by economic inequality and environmental disaster. The Joad family's journey in the Grapes of Wrath is a fictionalized version of the story Steinbeck heard during his travels. His first-hand experience with these families allowed him to write with empathy and urgency, creating a novel that not only won the Pulitzer Prize, but also played a role in sparking national conversations about poverty, labor rights, and social justice. Conclusion: real-life events often serve as the inspiration for some of the most powerful works of literature. Whether rooted in personal tragedy, historical events, or the everyday experiences of life, these stories offer a glimpse into the moments that shaped the minds of some of the greatest writers. By turning their own experiences into fiction, these authors have left a lasting impact on readers worldwide, showing us that the line between reality and imagination is often more blurred than we realize. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And see you all in the next video.